I was in an abusive relationship, marriage, that started with only the wrong time, not having food ready. My daughter was sick, and I didn't prepare food for supper because she had a fever, and it was all wrong, and he gave me the beating of my life. Oh, that's what he said. This will teach me well. Well, he didn't beat me anywhere where anybody can see. It was only on my head, on my body, nowhere near my face. That was the first beating. It went on for quite a lot of times. And eventually we moved out of the flat because there were too many people asking questions. And he bought us a house, pretty much secluded. And the beatings just continued, just got worse. Sometimes there wasn't even a reason. He just came home and something happened at work and he took it out on me. He loved and adored my daughter. He had never had a problem with her, although she witnessed some of the beatings. And then I found out that I was pregnant with my son, my second child. He was ecstatic over that, and until we found out that it was a boy, and he never wanted another boy. He had 2 boys from his first marriage. And from there on end, I was never allowed to give attention to my baby or my belly or anything. And I was about 6 months pregnant. One night he ripped me out of my bed and said, well, it's time now. If I don't want to do anything about it, he'll do it. And he started kicking me in my stomach. Trying to get rid of him. I could feel my ribs breaking. I could feel everything. And sometimes I thought I heard him cry. But he was born and he was healthy. He couldn't get rid of him. He is such a joy to me. After his birth, I was not allowed to baby feed him, to breastfeed him. I was never allowed to hold him when he was home. The beating just got worse and worse. Every time I touch him, he would give me such a hiding. Eventually, he started bringing girls around to my house, telling me to go and sit in the living room, and when they were done, he would tell me to clean up the bed and make sure everything is washed by the time he gets back. And obviously I did it, and when he came back, he beat me in any case, because I was just not like any other girl. He was in a position where everybody would tell him everything. I once walked to the police station. That was one time that he actually beat me in my face. I had broken nose, my eyes were swollen up, my ear was almost torn off. It was in a bad way. And I walked in and the policeman recognized me. And I didn't even say a word to him. And when I looked back, he was standing in the doorway. He took me home, and then there was all hell breaking loose. He would lock me in the house if he accidentally, which was my fault, he hit me in my face. And every night I would get a beating, because why aren't I like any other woman that would put makeup on so that I'd look better for my husband? But my eyes were swollen shut. When I started bleeding, he would say to me, I must just keep still. Don't bleed all over the place. What's wrong with you? I came from an abusive family. My father used to hit my mother. And I think my mother was afraid. And as so my sister, my one brother was staying up in Cape Side. So he did buy me a ticket to go to him with the children, but it was too late. Well, the last beating he gave me, my son was 6 months old again, and my daughter was almost 4. And that night he was really, really, really aggressive. Earlier that morning I actually phoned his boss to ask if we can't send him for alcohol rehab so that we can just get everything in place so that he can be a better man, because I know we didn't just have bad days, there were good days as well. And he actually said yes, if we can get a hold of him we can try and put him in there. That night he came home, well, he picked me up from work. First I had a run-in with my boss because they had an affair, and we came home, and the violence was enormous. It was just out of control. He was out of control. He broke my hand, my nose again, some of my ribs, my face. He ripped about all my hair out. He broke my wedding ring. And then he left. After the last beating, he died. And I believe for some reasons that if he didn't, I would still be in that relationship, because you feel fearsome, helpless. All those things that he makes you feel, because that's just the personality they have. And if I can give any advice to any woman that's in that relationship, after the first scolding, after the first hit, after anything, get out immediately, because it will never get better. I can't believe how many times I heard promises of, I'm so sorry, I will never do it again, and a week later it will happen again. So their promises don't mean nothing. Don't believe them. There's hope after abuse. There's hope after everything. And if you don't get help, try again. Ask anybody that will listen, because someone out there is going to help. If only I cried out more, maybe my situation would be different.